What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today we're here with my personal 2021 Volkswagen ID.4 Pro S rear-wheel drive. Yes, that's a mouthful. I've had this car for 7 months and 10,000 miles. I'm going to go through the good, the bad, and whether I'd buy it again and whether you should buy one, especially with all the great options on the market today. Let's get started. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Brandon Flash. This is my personal Volkswagen ID.4 Pro S rear-wheel drive, as I mentioned. I've had this car since July 2021. I've taken it on road trips. I've lived with it every day. I take it to the grocery store. If you haven't, check out some of my previous videos, including the road trip I did from here in Charlotte, North Carolina, all the way out to Denver, Colorado, Minneapolis, and then back to Charlotte. It was about 4,400 miles using almost entirely electrified America. We didn't have any issues. I've also added a trailer hitch on the back of this car. I made a whole video telling you how to. I've added splash guards, also have a video showing that as well. So I definitely walked through quite a bit of the ownership experience with this ID.4. But today I'm focusing on whether I would buy it again and any changes in opinion over 10,000 miles. I think one of the biggest things we need to talk about is the lack of over-the-air updates that Volkswagen promised and has not delivered on. When I got this car and when the ID.4 first came to the US in early 2021, which was almost exactly a year ago, we're now in early March 2022, Volkswagen promised over-the-air updates for the ID series every 12 weeks. And even if they didn't meet that every 12 weeks timeline that they set, I still would have expected to see an update by now, being that it's about a year now. And unfortunately, we haven't seen a single one. The other missed promise from Volkswagen is they promised plug-in charge with ISO 15118 by the end of 2021. We still have not seen that now in 2022. But Volkswagen has now said that we should see version 3.0, we're now on 2.1, by the end of the summer. So time will tell, but I'm not very hopeful, unfortunately. Overall, this car is quite good. There's a lot of press out there that say that the infotainment system is terrible. Quite frankly, I find it fine. I mostly use it for CarPlay when I'm driving. I just have my phone on the screen. It's wireless CarPlay. It works great. And I just hop in. Sure, it takes probably about 30 seconds to a minute to fully turn on. But usually I'm figuring out where I'm going, what route I'm taking in that time anyway, or shutting the garage door, so it's really no big deal that it's a little bit slow at first. Two other things you're probably wondering about: degradation, reliability, and comfort. Degradation, I do have an OBD scanner app that I use called Car Scanner, and I'm using that with a just universal Bluetooth dongle. And according to that, my battery has 74.9 kilowatt hour usable, and these are 77 kilowatt hour usable from the factory. So that's just under 3% degradation according to OBD data. So definitely take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. May or may not be 100% accurate. I haven't noticed any actual change in real world range. As far as any issues go, I did have a message come up twice that said electrical system error. And one of those times the vehicle would actually not move at all. But I was able to just get out of the car, come back in, and it was fine. It resolved itself, but that was a little bit discomforting, to say the least. I actually called Volkswagen Roadside Assistance before I decided to just get out and come back in. And I had a tow truck coming, but ended up being fine. That happened one other time in addition to that, but the car was still able to move. But overall, I haven't had any reliability issues. The car's been totally fine otherwise. I just had my 10,000 mile service done at my local Volkswagen dealer. So Volkswagen does recommend you bring this car in every 10,000 miles or 1 year for service. The 10,000 mile service and the 20,000 mile service are covered by Volkswagen, so no charge to you. 10,000 mile service is basically just an inspection, top off the washer fluid, look over the car, nothing crazy there. I think it's mostly so that Volkswagen can get some logs of the data from the car so that they can improve things and maybe allow more usable battery or whatever they want to do with that data. And then the 20,000 mile service, which I of course have not done yet, does those things again, but then adds a cabin air filter. So not a bad deal. You get those first 2 free. I probably won't own this car until the 20,000 service, but I'll get to that in a few minutes. And then touching on comfort, I drive this car every day. It's still very comfortable, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, both the initial impressions, the road trip impressions, the full walkthrough video. These seats are great. I do have the lunar gray interior, can't really see that other than right here, but interior's holding up really well. I do wish that the door cards were not piano black. Those are getting a little scratched up, but not too crazy. We do have a little bit of rock chips on the front, but that's to be expected. There's no paint protection film, and I don't always leave a lot of distance when I'm on the interstate, so I don't consider that to be any fault of the car. A question I commonly get now that we have other cars on the road, like the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the Kia EV6, and other cars coming, is should I buy an ID.4? And I think the answer really comes down to what matters to you in a car. Are you looking for the best value and you're mostly going to be charging at home? I think the ID.4 is really hard to beat. Are you someone that road trips a lot, really wants the latest tech? Maybe the EV6 or the Ioniq 5 are better suited for you. But I think the package that the ID.4 gives you is really hard to beat. You get the glass roof even on the mid trim, the Pro S without gradient. I have the Pro S with gradient. Whereas on the Ioniq 5, you actually have to go all the way up to the top trim, the Limited, I believe it's called, to get that glass roof, which I think is kind of unfortunate and makes it not compete as well. I have driven the Ioniq 5, I've ridden in an EV6. They're both very comfortable, very quiet. You're not going to go wrong with them. But I just don't think they're quite as good of a value as the ID.4. 800-volt architecture is cool. Range is pretty comparable between all three. You're going to be getting that low 200s, maybe high mid 200s if you get a rear-wheel drive Ioniq 5 or EV6. So I really don't think that's a determining factor. And if you're not going to be DC fast charging it often, the 800-volt architecture doesn't really give you any benefit. Once the version 3.0 software update comes out for the ID.4, if it comes out later this summer, hopefully, that should reduce the DC fast charging time to 29 minutes from 5 to 80%. It's currently 38 minutes. I actually have a video showing the entire charging curve from 0 to 100, so definitely check that out if you're interested. I think in 2022, with supply chain constraints, limited vehicle availability, markups, you really can't go wrong whether you get the EV6, the Ioniq 5, the upcoming GV60, the Volkswagen ID.4, or even the Ford Mustang Mach-E. I'm not personally a huge fan of the Mach-E, just due to the charging and the overall styling, but that's personally me. But I think it really comes down to what's available near you and what can you get without markup. These cars are all quite good. However, I would not pay markup on any mass market sold car. These cars just aren't special enough to warrant paying $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 over the MSRP. And 3 to 5 years from now, when you're probably going to be upgrading if you're a normal person, you might be underwater or owe more than your car is worth if you pay those markups, or on a lease you're paying way more monthly than you should. So I think it really comes down to look around you, see what you can find, go drive the cars. That's really important. See what suits you, and take home whichever one you like the most. I'm happy with my ID.4, but I am going to be getting a Rivian R1T later this year. There's quite the drama with the price changes, but I'm glad they went back on it, especially for reservation holders. I've actually had a Rivian R1T on reservation since February 2021, before I even had the ID.4, when I was still driving my Tesla. But I'm really looking forward to that. Truck sounds like a cool new adventure. Anyway, if you drive an ID.4, or if you drive Ioniq 5, EV6, Mach-E, whatever you drive, comment down below. Let me know what you think, whether you think the ID.4 is still competitive in 2022. I think it is.